Hey everybody, Ultimate CJ here. How's it going down there? Pardon for the shoddy recording, as I don't have the most professional equipment out there, though I do plan on getting a better camera down the road, especially for live streaming and other stuff. I don't normally do video reviews. I mean, I used to do reviews on my own personal website, which I plan to get up someday. I used to do it as a hobby. But I wanted to share one of my favorite game franchises from Altus. Favorite's probably an understatement, is that of the Persona series. And I finally finished Persona 5 from start to finish. Didn't 100% everything, but I wanted to give my full opinion on Persona 5. Yes, I had the PlayStation 3 version because, you know, hey, I don't have a PlayStation 4. So, unfortunately, I can't really, I don't have a PlayStation 4. I mean, granted, if they didn't make the 3, this would have been my console seller, because as you can see from behind, I completed 139 hours closely. Now, I will probably subtract maybe 5 or 6 hours from bullshitting around and, you know, going to the bathroom, talking to friends, yada, 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 and, you know, just whatever, cooking food, you name it. Usually when I play an RPG, I usually, or any game for that matter, I might shave off approximately 3 or 4 hours of game time. And of course, you add maybe, it probably balances out in the end because you have your game overs and stuff, which I didn't experience too much with this. This is your 5-second warning. I'll wait 5 seconds exactly for you to close the video, because this will be non-spoiler. So there's going to be spoilers in here because this is a full review of the game, what I thought of it. So you have your 5 seconds to close the video now, and if not, then feel free to indulge, and I would love your opinions on what I thought. Okay, well, you didn't close the video yet, so I assume you want to hear my full thoughts on the game. I was first introduced into Persona series from a good ex-friend now, but a friend that she told me about Persona 4, and that was the first game that I played and checked it out, which I absolutely loved, adored it, shedded a tear, and it was a fantastic game. Then I went to go play the third one, which wasn't as good. Granted, it was an older game, but they improved a lot of mechanics in 4, and 3 was a very challenging, hard game. So, being that said, and then I knew they were working on 5, it was constantly getting delayed, and I finally heard it came out it finally came out, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to go find that. And I mean, it came out probably about maybe I didn't know about it until 3 weeks down the road. I guess I just didn't hear about it, or I mean, I was busy and I didn't get a chance to really look it up. And then when I heard about it, I'm just like, well, son of a bitch. And sure enough, it was for the PlayStation 3 as well. And thank you, Altus, for doing the whole Breath of the Wild Zelda thing that Nintendo did, where Nintendo came out for both the Wii U and the Switch. And I do plan on playing Breath of the Wild one of these days, just don't know when. But thank you for that. But even so, this would have been my console seller for the PlayStation 4 alone, because the game was very, very long. I didn't expect to push to almost a 140-hour mark. And that's not with side stuff. I did some side stuff, and I probably could say maybe add 5 hours, and that was just basically crafting the persona and doing the research on how to make some of the personas, because just like in the third one, just like in the fourth one, which I would love the Persona series to have something like that, like a recipe thing to how to figure out how to make personas rather than blind guessing. So that's what you have Google and the internet for now. That took even so, I think that was probably the only downside I could say to 5. It was harder to craft personas in this game, and it was very, very difficult. But I wanted to make sure I crafted the lewd persona Mara, and of course Alice, because I loved Alice in the fourth, Alice in Wonderland, by the way, yes, Alice in the fourth one and the third. She just wrecks stuff. So what is Persona 5 about? Persona 5 takes a complete different skew of, you basically play like superheroes, Robin Hood like characters, called the Phantom Thieves, and you are there to reform society or change people's hearts of their corrupted desires. the best example, I mean, like the first one you have to take care of is Kamoshida, who is basically a perverted teacher, and dates all the young girls and bribes the school and stuff, and he's got his evil grasp on the school itself. And sure enough, you learn about the cognitive world and more detail on that in the game's story of why this world exists. But you're there to change people's hearts. You're basically doing social reform, and the game does kind of get a little too political down the road. So, for any of the conservatives and the liberals out there that want to whine and cry, I mean, you could probably take either side on that take, given what's going on in our country right now. But that's a whole different subject. I'm not even going to touch that. But the game does do a social reform and stuff. But granted, this game has been 7 years in the works, give or take. And it was damn well worth the wait. The game has a similar format. You start in March, you end in March, and most of the days are playable all through. And with the exception of certain story, or you'll skip certain days, or you'll skip an entire day. But the format is you do things during the day, you build up your confidences. Like if anyone's aware of the Persona series, you have your social part in it. And I've had some people argue saying this is basically a social sim game. No, it's not. 10% of the game, I want to say maybe 15% of it, does have to do with social links, where you talk to your comrades, male and female, and yes, you can romance. And people automatically think, oh, that's also no. It's not pure social, because these when you build your relationships with, or confidants is what they're called in here, as you build your friendships up, it helps you out in the game, where you get experience bonuses from crafting persona of that arcana associated with that confidant, to where they'll take a mortal blow for you, and that sort of deal. And each confidant and the waifus as well, or the girls in the game, have their own individual story. So there's miniature stories within the main story. The game is very linear, and so it's not a very confusing. The very beginning of it's a little confusing with the hint system and stuff, but it's fast to pick up on. But in terms of percentage, 80% of the game's story. It's like a gigantic visual novel, and about 15%, I want to say maybe 70% is story. 20% is dealing with the confidence in your daily life and working on your social skills and all that, and then the other 10% waifu, as they say, or the social stuff. But it's just one long story. So if you're looking for a game that is just nothing but a grind fest and all that stuff, and just for JRPGs, and not too much battle, but a lot of battle, but story, but not like a devolved deep story. Persona series is not for you. The game is mostly story, but it's very well done story, and like watching a good movie or reading a damn good book. It's very lovable and enjoyable. I did shed a tear, especially after what happened to spoiler. What happened at the end of Morgana. That really had me. I really was convinced that Morgana was a human being, and Morgana wasn't. He was a cognitive thing that was created by Igor, who before got taken over by this malicious god known as I forget the name of the god, but he's like this golden chalice of the Holy Grail is what you deal with. And that's like for the true ending of the game. Speaking of endings, unlike the other two, unlike Persona 4, getting the real ending in this game is not that difficult to do. And the bad endings are pretty damn morbid. It's just basically don't sell out your friends. That's the best way to avoid that type of an ending. I totally thought Kechi was a total asshole, but I feel for the guy because the ace detective, who is like this rebel detective who's trying to capture the Phantom Thieves and trying to who they are, but he already knew who they were because he was in on it the whole time. But you find out later in the game he was an abusive child who, by the main bad guy that was messing with the cognitive world to become prime minister, which is basically the president of Japan. So you got your corrupted politics part in that in the game. But the game is extremely long, but it's not a very difficult game even on normal. And in terms of combat, it's very well defined. The combat is very, very well done, and I really liked it. I loved all the characters. All the characters were very colorful. I think my favorite character, of course, was Makoto, who, yes, I romanced because she was my favorite girl. But the other quick picks are like Kamakami, the teacher. Yeah, you can date a teacher in this game who is one of the confidants, and in her storyline, you find out she's doing a night job as a maid to help pay off a debt, or a guilt trip debt she owes money to. And and every story is good, and I can't help but to laugh and just giggle. And if it wasn't for Makoto, I probably would have romanced her, because like eventually you can get back massages. She can cook for you and make coffee for you, which are items that are used to restore your SP or magic points, are so called in Persona game. But I just found it so funny. Just like in the other Persona games, SP is a very rare commodity. You want to like use it sparingly and not go crazy with it. But as I said, unless you just don't know how to. The micromanaging is not really that tough. I mean, great, you got a lot of characters you got to deal with, but micromanaging in the game isn't that very tough to do in the first place. And you do have time limits, just like in any other Persona game. But I found myself clearing every dungeon within 3 game days' time, usually. My least favorite dungeon was the bank, and probably the bank in the space station with all the confusing closing door puzzles and dealing with the whole code puzzles. Granted, I know I could have just looked up the solution easily, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to actually figure out the answer for myself, and I did. Puzzles are not too hard. Those are my least 2 favorite dungeons. Every dungeon's got its own theme. I think the only thing we didn't do, was snow. Like a snow theme type area. We had a pyramid, a casino, and everything. And this game, unlike the other Persona series, tells it from a prologue sense. Like, you start way in December, but then you rewind, you tell the tale how you got caught. And you do a recollection of all the events, and you play all those events through up to the point of to the end of that story, to where that determines the ending, whether you sell out your friends or not. But it's very well done. All the characters are colorful. The voiceovers are wonderful. It's very memorable. I didn't feel like this game was rushed. The combat system alone is very innovative. They got that Phantom Thief feeling, using like, you know how ransom notes will use like pieces of paper from magazines. The fonts are like that. As far as the music is concerned, it's very disco. A lot of music is extremely, extremely disco, and I'm just like, wow, they just went there with there's no disco ball or anything, but they did very, very, very disco it. And unlike the other two, unlike Persona 3 and 4, this one actually has linear dungeons. Nothing is random generated, with the exception of Mementos, which is a side dungeon. It is a side dungeon, but it's also the main dungeon, because you eventually find out you have to go at the very bottom of Mementos. The game does contradict. I think at times the game did contradict itself. Like, why are we gonna steal this person's heart and get them out of this hole from being in an abusive relationship? Granted, I felt bad for Futaba, but at the same time I was like, this is almost kind of wrong. I mean, it made sense why you did it, but I also felt kind of wrong doing that. It's just, granted, that's like almost like changing the future or something like that. It doesn't do all that kind of crazy stuff. Speaking of, the game does do a lot of fourth wall shout outs just here and there, like Ninja to the Future, making fun of MacGyver for reading books, and they do all kinds of little quick picks and all that stuff. The coolest thing I thought was cool, they did the modern thing with doing the whole cell phone thing. I thought that was really cool. Hey, look, my cell phone. I thought that was cool, doing the I am thing. I will say, if you do play Persona, prepare for a very long journey, because every Persona. I haven't played the first two, and I do have copies of that thanks to my friend Big D. So I will check those out eventually for the PlayStation 1 when I don't know. But I will say that it was a wonderful, wonderful journey, and I really did like it. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but I definitely give it a solid high 9.5. Couple of nitpicks I didn't like. Of course, with your working on not the social links part, but working on your actual skills such as proficiency, guts, which that was the only thing I didn't cap, and I was close to capping the guts, charm, and all that. I just wish you get points in it, but it doesn't tell you what your current points are. So I felt like it was really kind of, I mean, I know there was a cap to each one, but it felt so random because I didn't know when that was going to actually happen. And that was probably my biggest complaint in the game. And my other complaint, of course, exams. Hey, okay, I did my test during the day. I have the evening. Let me work on my others. I mean, I would. In real life, I probably, even when I was in school, I wasn't that damn exhausted. Okay, from an exam or a test or whatever, I wasn't going to go to sleep. I think a lot of days were skipped, and that could have been changed up a little bit. And I honestly thought after I defeated December 24th for the true ending on the God character, fighting the God monster, I really thought that I was going to be able to do some more of my social link stuff. Nope, that's pretty much it. You have up until December 24th to get all that capped out. And I've heard you can do it all in one sit through, but I'm not hardcore like that. I got to be precise or anything like that. I never capped everything in the first game. Of course, this game does have New Game Plus, which I'm not going to touch. I have no reason to. I wanted to play for the journey, and the journey was definitely worth it. I don't want to spoil too much of the game, but I wanted to give a final my thoughts on the game itself, because I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful, well done game. If you like the Persona series, or if you like JRPGs in general, and you like a game that has a fucking good story, then I definitely recommend that. The one thing that was kind of controversial when the first game first came out, and I do want to give my opinion on this, and this is more of a fact than an opinion, really, but people are going to say it's an opinion because it is my opinion, but I think I firmly believe it's a fact. That, when this game came out, Atlus did not want people streaming past the 7th month, I think it was July, I can't remember. I think that's when you all went to Hawaii. I can't remember 100%, which wasn't really a pipe bomb. I thought the pipe bomb was around the September month. That was when all the pipe bombs started coming down. So, but they were DMCAing people's accounts. People were, oh, fuck you, I'm doing streaming for a living. Even if I did YouTube for a living, or my channel was that popular enough, or Twitch or whatever, to where I could do this for a living. By the way, to all, thank you for all my subscribers who do watch, and let people know about my channel. My channel's not that popular, but I do this as a hobby, not as a living. But I like to make videos, and if there's any videos that you want me to see me come on up, send me a message. I'll be glad to do it if I can. But I could see why they didn't want people live streams to prevent people from spoiling it. Now, I agree with their assessment, and I don't agree with it. Here's why I agree. Why I'm okay. Why they didn't. This is their baby. Persona. I think out of all their games they've made, Persona is their Mario, and it's their baby. And I can understand they don't want it, going out there too much, and want people being spoiled or whatnot, or just don't want that to go out there like that, because I know that's going to get bought out pretty fast because it's a well-known game. Here's what I don't agree with it. Even myself as a YouTube or Twitch watcher, which I don't do a lot of, but if I don't want to watch a live stream or a let's play of a game, especially if I plan on playing it, I don't watch it. Alright? Don't be stupid, people. Don't be a fucking idiot and go, if you don't want to be spoiled on a particular game or even TV show, and yeah, I can see with social media, especially like something like Game of Thrones, that's hard to avoid sometimes, I get that. But if you really don't want to be spoiled on a full Let's Play, don't watch it. Don't be an idiot and watch it. That is one reason why I did not do a live stream or any type of Let's Plays with this, because I didn't want to, I honored Atlus and respected them for that, because that is their baby. Plus, I wanted to enjoy the game on my own time and not just do 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and just do long-ass recording sessions or whatever. I just wanted to enjoy the game in privacy of my own home. And that is the biggest reason why I didn't do a recording. But I told myself I will do a review of this game and give you my full thoughts on what I thought of the game. And like I said, 9.5 out of 10, I think. Or close to a solid 10, because I really had no complaints. Sure enough, this game, just like the other games, the main character does die if he gets killed, which I didn't have many game overs. They didn't really explain. They didn't really explain it. Say in the comments below or message me, because I read on theories, but they really didn't explain in this one why if the main character dies, it's game over for everyone. The only theory I read up is all the personas that he captures in his mask. Unlike his party members, they all come out and become shadows and consume the party. That's what the theory is. I can't remember the lore behind 3, but I know the lore behind 4. The main character had control of entering and exiting the TV world. The other characters did not. So if the main character got killed, guess what? Everyone's stuck in the TV world, and you're kind of screwed. Speaking of, I kind of liked how they made shoutouts to Persona 4 in this one, in Persona 5. I also do like the fact that the ending to this game is a hell of a lot better than the last game for the true ending, the game, because it gives a much more closure. Whereas when I beat 4, I'm like, man, I hope I come back to Inaba someday, or just have that feeling I want to really come back to Inaba. Whereas in 5, all your friends get together and they drive you home, and you actually make plans with, especially if you romance someone, that hey, you're going to stick together and keep in contact and stay together. Whereas with 4, they kind of didn't push that route. Where with 5, they went to full closure, so I can feel satisfied beating the game that hey, even if they, which I doubt they will, but if they did make another game that was a continuation of this, it would be cool. I mean, I don't know how they could top it, making like a Persona 5-2, but I see Persona just making a brand new game, and hopefully Altus will make a new one down the road in about 5 or 6 years from now. I'll be looking forward to it, and I'm going to play the fuck out of it. I loved it. And I really do recommend the game to anyone who enjoys the series or just enjoys JRPGs. On a closing note, if you like Altus as an RPG developer or producer and all that, and if you've played the Persona 5 or you played the Persona series and you like that type of series, I do recommend Conception 2 for the Nintendo DS, and also I think it's on the PSP, as well as Children of the Seven Stars Conception 2. I do recommend that for because it is, of course, by Altus. It's actually a pretty long game. It took me 100 hours to beat the game. I think I could probably shave off 10 hours from that. There's more grinding, more battle. This game has probably, I'd say 60% battle, 40% story, and then 10%, 30% story, and like 20% with the waifus in the game. And unlike Persona 5, you don't get punished if you are dating more than one girl. And this is all about making babies that fight for you, which is a weird concept. It's a very weird game. But you have like 7 different heroines that you talk to, and you build up relations with them, and each one has their own story, and they have their own relation. They have their mood, but there's no relationship level. As long as you keep interacting, it'll always go up, never go down. There's not really a rank up system, anything like that. But I do recommend that. I do recommend Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars. Whoops, backwards. It is on Steam PC. It is definitely worth $20 because it is a very long game. And I apologize if my eyes are looking up because I'm not looking at my laptop while trying to talk. I'm trying to look at the camera as much as I can. But I do recommend Conception 2. If you like the Persona series, it's like a miniature Persona game. Now I do have Persona Q I recently acquired, which is like 3 and 4 mixed together. I do planning on playing that when I don't know. that is one of the biggest reasons why you haven't seen me do any live streams or any new videos other than doing our Xbox games when we had time to do it with my friend Big D. That's why you haven't seen any of that. But I am going to plan on doing a live stream pretty soon of one of 3 different titles. If I hear from people, I will probably end up repicking this back up. I know I did a few live streams of Final Fantasy X, which is a game I do need to... Not 10, I've already beaten 10, but I had the HD remake for 10 and 10-2. And I need to play 10-2 all the way through. I've done a few videos on there. I just put it down for some reason. Not because I couldn't take it seriously, I just put it down because real life and all that other kind of stuff. So if I hear from anyone, hear from you guys that you want me to do Final Fantasy X-2 and pick that back up, I will finish the playthrough with that. If I don't hear, there's also 2 other games that I am going to pick out of my selection. If I don't hear from 10-2, more than likely, the next game, which people have told me is very freaking good, and my friend Billy says is good too, is Dante's Inferno. I do plan on playing that. I've heard a lot of good things about it. This will more than likely be the next live stream unless I hear from somebody. Or the next game might be Red Dead Redemption, because I have not played it yet myself. I mean, there's a lot of games that I have not played for the PlayStation 3. I'm new to it and all that. Closing words for Persona 5. Great fucking game. Is it better than 4? I want to say they're on par. I mean, 5 is very unique in its own way, and so is 4. I mean, it's like tomato. They're both really great games. I mean, 5, I think, took what from 4 had and improved it. So you're playing even a better game. So I guess, in a sense, it's a much better, more refined game. Not by 10,000% anything like that, but just a really, really, really good game. And I thought it would, wow. I am sad I did kind of beat it, because now I'm done, and I don't know when I'll be playing another Persona game down the road, 5 or 6 years from now, because I think, excuse me, I don't know when I played Persona 4. I think I played it about, I'd say almost 4 or 5 years ago, because I played Persona 3 afterwards, so probably at least a good 4 years. But as you can see, 139 hours, you are looking at a very long-ass journey, and so because the story is that damn good. It's a lot of story to absorb, and it's very good. Very linear, so you're not going to get lost or confused. I never had to use... The only time I really used a walkthrough was for 2 different things. For the answering school questions, because it's been years since I've been in school, and there are a lot of questions. Even I got educated. I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell this answer is. So I do recommend... IGN's got the best guide out there. It's very clear, straightforward, and concrete. Very well done. The only other time I used a walkthrough is when I saw in November something called Flu Season. Now, the end of the game did get a little too easy for me, and that's on me, because I wanted to make... no way would have hit 79 to make my favorite Persona Alice. So the game was still a bit of a challenge in the end, but the enemies were very, very easy, because you can go into Mementos, and anybody knows about the Reaper knows he's one hell of a hard-ass foe, but he also drops a crap ton of experience points, like over 72,000. If you go in November when it says Flu Season and you wait for the Reaper, there's a chance to have Despair on him, which is, its own version of Doom from Final Fantasy, and it'll instantly die, and you can just sit there and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and get levels. I went from 50 to 80 in less than an hour, because you really can't grind in this game too much, because the experience is shared. I stayed in one dungeon when I was finished, ready to leave the palace to send the calling card, which is another cool thing. That's what you do as the Phantom Thieves. But I recommend it simply because if you want to make your favorite Personas and you don't plan on doing a New Game Plus, I do recommend it. I will say the game will be a little more easier because your characters are more leveled up, but I have no regrets on that because I've enjoyed the story overall. The game was very challenging. I had my handful of game overs, and I really loved it. So that's my closing thoughts. I really say, hey, I will say that what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I will say that the Phantom Thieves, you guys stole my heart, literally. And thank you, Atlas, for making another wonderful game. I really enjoyed it. I got my money's worth. And if you didn't make it for the PlayStation 3, you would have sold me on the 4. This is Ultimate CJ signing off. I will see you guys in the next video, which I'm going to probably get some more Hildebrand FF14 videos up. And the next game, the next stream of videos that I'm going to do is my friend Brandon wants me to, I started playing it just to play a couple levels. I'm up to the school, but I'm going to be doing, it's not going to be a full Let's Play because I started already on it, but I'm going to do recording sessions, just ordinary, not live streams, but ordinary recording sessions of South Park: The Stick of Truth and play that all the way through. And once those are done, that's probably when I will probably pick up on Dante's Inferno. Unless I hear from you for the other 2 games. So, this is Ultimate CJ signing off saying, hey, you haven't played 5 yet, play it. You don't need to play the other games. Hell, this could be the game you could start your Persona journey with and go from there. 3 will be difficult because 3 battle mechanics was a bit bad, which made the game a very challenging, difficult game. I had the most game overs from it because of the bad AI. But 4 and 5 improved on that, and they got rid of all that crap. But I do recommend Persona 5 for anyone who's enjoyed a JRPG. And I'm glad the ending this game made me feel content and happy. And I mean, granted, I was happy with 4, but I was also sad. Like, man, I don't want to stop playing this game. It's like I was here. I'm overall satisfied with the ending, and I don't have any. I mean, I don't feel as bad beating the game, saying, "Oh man, I can't enjoy it again," which I'm fine with. You know, I have no regrets. You know, regrets at all playing Persona 5. And yes, all my other friends will probably be happy I'm finally done with it, so I can get back to Final Fantasy 14 or do other stuff with them. But I'm sorry, it's Persona. I've waited 7 years, and unlike Final Fantasy 15, which I heard took almost 10, 12 years to make, is easily beaten in 7 hours unless you do tons of side content. Here, it's a straight up 139, give or take, depending how good, how fast the reading are. Although the majority of the story is voiceover, so it's just long. So, once again, Ultimate CJ signing off. My heart was stolen, and it'll never be taken. It'll never be gotten again. They invaded my palace, technically speaking, and stole my treasure. So, y'all have a great night. See you again in the next video.